What's going on, everyone? So, From season 4 is officially wrapped. So, From has finished their filming in Nova Scotia, and I could not be more excited. As many of you know, I am a big From guy. I love the show. I am still a little bothered that we have to wait like a year and a half for this movie to come out. That is a little disappointing. That is a little frustrating. Especially for a show that was really picking up and gaining some real momentum, right? I mean, From was a show that just it was just really, in my opinion, felt like picking up a lot of steam. Um, as somebody that is, a content creator and making videos on From and doing live streams and stuff like that, like I could see the steady growth and just like, I mean, skyrockets, like some of the videos and numbers and stuff, and just people and the engagement and the excitement and just the conversations we were able to have. Like it was such a great experience. And then you just halt that with, hey, we're going to release this in sometime in 2026. And then it was like, okay, early 2026. And then there was like a point where it was like, okay, well, maybe we'll do early 25, or sorry, late 25, early 26 type thing. And ultimately they settled for, first quarter essentially of 2026 is what it appears to be like. We don't have an official release date. I want to be clear about that. I don't want people to think or assume that like, hey, we're getting this film on this day or this day. Like, no, the expectation is early 2026. Now that doesn't mean early in the sense of like, January 5th, early in the sense of, again, the first quarter. So basically between now and probably April, March, April is when we should expect this season to come out. Obviously, look, it really boils down to how good is this season, right? If this season is a little bit of a dud, I mean, you could ruin the franchise, literally, right? Like, because you have this long hiatus, and then you don't build and follow up on the momentum, and then now you're gonna go and release this, and then it's a dud, or it's just not a great season. Like, this needs to be arguably the best season that you have, right? Because you want people, you want that fire to relight, you want that fire to respark, you want people that are on the fence now coming around. You want the people that were kind of like, oh yeah, that show, like, and it's also one of those things, if you build it, they will come. My biggest concern with, like, because you look at things like Stranger Things and the hiatus. I mean, that you want to talk about hiatus. Stranger Things is crazy, but the difference is it's on Netflix, right? Where From is MGM Plus. Everybody, literally everybody has access, whether personally or someone they know, to Netflix. If From was on Netflix, I wouldn't really have much concern. It's just like, hey, don't worry, people are going to come around to eventually. And that's the luxury that, Netflix has with Stranger Things. At some point, you're going to go on Netflix and go, oh, hey, there's a new Stranger Things season. And you're going to click on that and you're going to watch it, right? You don't get that luxury with From because it's not on kind of the staple streaming platforms. So that is something I have concerns too. But also, even just from a story and just overall seasonal standpoint, I really do think you got to start explaining things, right? I mean, there are still things dating back to season 1 that they haven't even really touched on, right? Like, you can reach a point where you start to have too many questions and not enough answers. And obviously that's what this show is about, to constantly generate, questions and buzz and stuff. But, at least to the significant things, you kind of want and need those explanations. You kind of want and need the understanding, right? And now you've just opened up Pandora's box, so to speak, And, I mean, from several fronts to Jim and Tabitha. And, so like, it's just, there's a lot that you need to go over and explain and break down and tell the story. Like, and I'm excited, like, genuinely. And I'm not saying you have to do it all in this season. We know that there's at least going to be 5 seasons, very likely more, if this season has the success. But we know that, like, we're getting at least 2 more seasons. So you can kind of pace it out. But at some point, you need to start getting some explanations. But, they've kind of teased us with the, hey, just because you know the answers doesn't mean it makes it any easier to get out, right? Which I kind of like that, if assuming that that's true. We got the introduction to the Man in Yellow, and I imagine he's going to play a pretty significant role in this upcoming season. He appears to be, at least at this time. Obviously, that could change, but a lot of theories and stuff like that. And trust me, we'll dive into a bunch of new theories. I know I've kind of been holding off and haven't really talked much from, because again, there just hasn't been anything. We're not getting anything for a year and a half, right? So it's like, it's kind of hard to talk about a bunch of stuff, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, check out this video, but it's not going to be relevant for 6 months, right? So, hopefully, like I said, we start getting some answers. But obviously, the Man in Yellow appears to be kind of like the front man, right? He's the one that is kind of the overseer, and I imagine we get some type of details and information on him. But I mean, the idea of like, hey, like, here's all the answers, doesn't mean you're getting out, right? Like, I still think I think has the potential to be great if done and executed in a proper manner. But really, again, it boils down to, the writers and the show front and all that stuff, and the delivery and the execution and the storytelling and all the things that go into that, right? Like, you have to do right by this. And you have to make sure that this season really hits, and then hopefully season 5 doesn't take another year and a half to come around. Because that's my concern, is that, like, we keep falling into this trap. And I know that they're probably looking at it like, look at Stranger Things, look at like what the trailer for Stranger Things was doing, all this other stuff. Like, they had an even longer idea. It's like, yes, but again, much bigger IP, much bigger streaming platform. They can kind of get away with that. It's like, it's just, it's hard when you're just much smaller, right? And especially a show that it felt like you were really starting to build and gain momentum there. You're really starting to see kind of the major audience coming around, and the conversation starting to really pick up, and more and more people finding this series and this show, and it really kind of stepping into its own in a lot of ways. And, again, obviously it was successful. That's how you got to the 4th season. But I really felt, after season 2, you just started to see, going into, season 2 into season 3, I thought you really started to see kind of the uptick of this show. And I just think you're going to hopefully continue to just see more and more, but it really comes down to the execution. But I'm excited. Filming's done. It's time to get everything going. Hopefully we get a little teaser, a little trailer in the next, month and a half. Maybe it'd be nice by end of the year at the latest, maybe early January we get a little teaser, maybe late December if we're lucky. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to give us anything. You don't have to give us something. It doesn't have to be, 20 minutes long. Just give us something light. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.